Good morning, and how is everybody today? So this is now part 3 of this coin pocket journal. Now, as you can see, I've done some bits and pieces off of camera. So let's open him up. So I've added some of the decorative paper in between the top and bottom flaps. Just tore it with my tear ruler, inked it up, glued it down. I've added a little snowflake charm to the top pocket. Snowflake charm to the top pocket. Just tied it round underneath. And then on the other end of the string, I've just tied on a little owl charm, because a lot of these papers have got owls on. And then I used the same sheet of the decorative paper and I covered the back. Okay, so that's what I've done so far. And I also pulled off a piece of coffee dyed cotton and I used my stamps just to decorate it up, make it a little bit more interesting. So that's what I've done while you've been away. Now this is where I left you yesterday. So if we unclip our bulldog clips, we can see this is now a book. And it is all stuck. It's all stuck to our cheesecloth spine. So what I'm going to do now, let's open him up so he'll sort of stand up, is I'm going to apply this decorative cotton to the spine and overhanging about 1/4 of an inch each side, just to give it some extra strength. Okay, so I'm going to use just PVA. Now those of you that use PVA, I used to buy the little bottles, 100ml or something like that. It works out very expensive. If you buy something like this from the builders section of a store, this whole bottle, which is a litre, costs about £6. So that's what I did. So it's quite big, so I can't quite get it all on camera, I'm afraid, but there you go if you want to see it. PVA bond. This particular one's by Superdeck. I did buy it online, I believe it was through eBay. So let's turn him around, lift him off, and then I'm just going to glue down that spine again. I'm going to be a right mucky pup and use my finger to make sure it's spread out all the way along. And then I'm going to take my cotton. Now obviously I chose to stamp this because I wanted it a little bit more decorative, but you don't have to. You can use plain cotton. I often use the plain coffee dyed cotton. I love the antique look that it gives when you do that. So I stuck him on there, okay, and then I'm going to lay him down, lift him up, and I'm going to run some glue down there. Okay, I'm just going to fold him over, stretch him out so that it's nice and tight. Now obviously if you wanted to, you could have put a back cover there underneath if you weren't doing the style I'm doing, and then you could have glued it on top and that would have just been your final cover with your external spine, as it were. But because of what we're doing, that's not what we want to do today. So And again, I'm just going to stretch and push, stretch and push, stretch and push. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick our back cover on top so that our spine cloth is underneath the back cover. Okay. So let's get some PVA on here. Now I've actually got some of these, she says, rummaging around. Let's see if I can find them, because I think, here we go, I've actually got some of these glue spreaders. They're used mainly in like schools and nurseries, playgroups, things like that. But I just think it helps if you want to spread your glue out, because I have found that if you do it with a paintbrush, in no time at all, that paintbrush is absolutely ruined, because the glue almost gets into the fibres, you can't get it out. So there we go. Spread him out, and then obviously make sure you got it up the right way. We don't want to be sticking it that way, do we? And I'm just going to put him right on the edge, hold him down for a minute, flip it over, apply some real good pressure to it. And then I've got glue all over my table. You all know what I'm like with my table. If you open the back cover, just make sure that you smooth it out. Get a good stick on that back. Like that. And I'm going to do exactly the same to the front, making sure that my string stays out of the way, because obviously we don't want string getting glued inside. We want our string outside. And as you can see, I'm using plenty of glue. We don't want this coming apart, and also of course well, PVA is not that expensive, but more importantly we don't want it coming apart. There's nothing worse, making a wonderful journal, spent hours lovingly creating, and then it all falls apart. It's devastating. I had a little incident a few months ago where it didn't matter what I did, I couldn't get my spines or my signatures to sew tightly into my spines. I could pull and pull and pull on them until they were almost tearing the pages, and yet they still, when you opened them, were loose. It was just some kind of weird phase that I went through. I'm just making sure now that's up the right way. Now obviously this is going to be tempted to curve because it's wet on the back and dry on the front. So you do have to, you know, put some pressure on it. You see there, look, it wants to curve. Oh my goodness. See, and now I've done exactly what I told you not to do, and I've gone and glued it. Well, that's not the right way. So it's actually that page. Oh, bummer. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Can you see that? It's actually that page. So, do you know what? Because I've boo-booed that, is that the only one? Please say that's the only one. Please, please, please. Yeah, it's the only one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boo-boo that and I'm going to stick it down and we'll lose that page. Because otherwise I'm going to have to cut into the spine and start again, which obviously we don't want to do. So let's do that and let's stick all these down in one hit. I like that. So there you go. Everybody gets it wrong occasionally. So if you're new to junk journaling, let's face it, I haven't been here that long, but if you're new to junk journaling and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm rubbish, I made a mistake. We all make mistakes. It's just that because you don't live with us all, you don't generally see them. And obviously I could have deleted the video so that it didn't look like a bodge up or a mistake, but I'd rather be honest. We all make mistakes, we all get it wrong occasionally. Right, now the only thing you will need to be careful of, I remember this actually from before, when you ink your cotton by applying stamps and then you put your wet PVA on, if you're not careful you can rub the stamp because it's damp, so just be careful of that. You don't want to smudge all that nice work. And all I'm doing now is I'm putting my bulldog clips back on to make sure that those corners stick down nice and solid and square. Okay, and I'm going to find 2 more for the front, and I will leave that overnight as I did before so that it can set nice and solid. I only just get them on because it's quite thick now, but there you go. Move that one across there a little bit. Okay, so now you can see, if I open that one up, that my plan was that it's now a journal book, isn't it? Because the covers are glued to the actual pages. But the idea is that, like you would with a normal coin purse, is I would go, it's a bit difficult with the clips on, go up and round. I don't know if I can get under this one. Can't quite get under this one. Let's take this off for a minute. And then just bring him round. And then of course that is your closure. You've got your normal coin pocket type closure. But when you undo your strings, it'll open like a normal book. So there you go. That was my idea. And of course on the back, apart from that line of string, it just looks like a normal journal. I will pop back tomorrow and perhaps we'll do some page decoration and see how it looks as a completely finished journal. So I hope you enjoyed that, got some benefit from it. I'm Claire, my channel is Purple Poppy. Please feel free to like, comment and share. I love reading all your comments, and as always, thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined the journey. Take care, have a good day, I'll see you soon.